Welcome back to the 2015 Jesuit Sports Hall of Fame Collection Show. My good friend Ted Tobolka here, the newest member of the Jesuit Sports Hall of Fame class. Ted from the class of 1978. Ted, usually you and I are being co-hosts of a show like this. You've, of course, been very active in the Jesuit Alumni Letterman's Club, but here you are, just about a month away from getting your own Hall of Fame blue blazer. What kind of emotions are going through you as you think about the fact that you're about to be a Jesuit Sports Hall of Famer?
Well, Tom, it's been a dream of mine my entire life. And when I got a call from Bill Murphy, I didn't really realize what he was doing. He was trying to play a joke with me. But when he told me finally that this was what the reason for the call, I couldn't have been more excited. I had been having a tough day at work. After that, it didn't really matter about work. I was something I'd wanted to do and been a part of. Jesuit's such a part of my life that this is just a culmination of my boys going here and me having the opportunity to be in the Hall of Fame. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're very deserving. I've got some stats here. You played varsity all 4 years in baseball, a 4-year starting pitcher with 10-plus wins every season, a 2-time district MVP, All-State. I mean, you guys had some good baseball teams back when you were playing in the late 70s.
We did. It's you know, sometimes we're in the conversation of playing in the TCI or where we played. But we played everybody. We played everybody in the city, anybody that wanted to play us. So we played a tough schedule. And most of the private schools had great baseball teams at the time. And it was a quality baseball. We had a lot of great players that came through the school at that time.
Talk about, I know you played other sports, but let's focus on baseball. Talk about your coaching staff back then.
Well, it was an interesting coaching staff. I started out with Coach Sitney, who had a reputation at our school probably being one of the meanest men on earth, or at least that's the reputation he had. I can tell you a story. It was freshman baseball. We were playing Addison, and I struck out a couple of guys, and then I walked 3 batters, and he walked out to me, and I was scared to death that he knew my name, but of course he did. He put his hand on my shoulder. He goes, "Do you know who you're pitching against?" I said, "Yes, sir, Addison." He goes, "Do you think they're a strong baseball team?" I go, "Well, sir, they're trying hard." He goes, "Well, let me just say this. If you walk one more of them, the chances of it hitting a bird and falling back in is better than anything that we can do. So don't walk anymore. Quit walking them. Let the birds hit them and pitch." You know. So after that, but he was a very scary guy, but we enjoyed. He's a great coach. Coach Mansfield was also a great coach. My junior and senior year, he came in. He also coached me in football, and but great coaches. They were always kept us informed, kept us in shape, and kept us on point.
Speaking right now with Ted Tobolka from the class of 1978. Ted, a longtime member of the Jesuit Alumni Letterman's Club, really a driving force behind this fantastic organization, which is really the moving force behind the Sports Hall of Fame. How long have you been involved with the Alumni Letterman's Club?
Oh, I think Bill Murphy called me about 7 years ago and said, "Hey, I got a little job for you." I didn't really recognize what that was. But it's been about 7 years that I've been very, very active with it, and it's been a labor of love, I'll assure you of that.
If you haven't already got your tickets, of course, it's going to be April the 25th at the Terry Center, Mass at 6 o'clock. And as soon as Mass is over, there'll be cocktails and dinner and, of course, the Hall of Fame festivities. Ted Tobolka, our second Hall of Fame member we're visiting with right now. Ted, you made allusion to the fact that you've had sons that go to Jesuit. I want to talk about them, and I think that's one of the special things about this wonderful institution is the legacies, fathers, brothers, passing on the Jesuit tradition to their offspring. But let me ask you I'm from Waco, Texas, and I grew up in the 1970s in Waco, Texas, when McLennan Community College was an absolute power in the junior college baseball. And you played for some of those MCC teams.
I did. In 1979, we went to the Junior College World Series. We came up a little bit short. We lost the national championship game. Was a great experience. We were ranked number 1 or number 2 in the country for the entire year. Small note on that: there was 9 guys that have gone on to play Division I football, Division I baseball, and 3 played in the major leagues off that team. So it was quite a talented team. I was very fortunate to be a part of that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, growing up in Waco, y'all were the talk of the town. It was very exciting stuff. Was the World Series back in Grand Junction back then?
Grand Junction still is, yeah.
All right. So, Ted, you just mentioned your sons, and talk about that, the pride that you as a Jesuit graduate feel knowing that your sons have also gone here.
Well, it starts back with my parents who made a decision. We were a Bishop Lynch family. My brothers graduated, both brothers, older brothers there, and a decision was made for me to come across town to go to Jesuit, which was a big decision. And it was supported by my brothers. They knew that this was a great place to be, and they thought this was an experience they wanted for me. And boy, it couldn't have been better. And again, as soon as I left here, it was my driving goal in my life to figure out a way that if I were fortunate to have sons, to have them come to Jesuit. And it worked out great. Both of my boys have graduated from Jesuit and had great successful times, great education, and they played sports. They were successful. One was a baseball player, one was a football player, and both had played in college. They've subsequently now just trying to finish up and get their degrees, but it was a great experience. It's probably, if anybody asks what's the best thing about Jesuit, was the fact that my boys got to follow through and come through here. You can't describe it to somebody unless you live it, and living it is the most important thing I can say. And my boys, we've talked about it, and that's their goal too. If they have the opportunity, we'll continue this legacy.
So have you had a chance to think much about April 25th and the emotions that are going to be coursing through your veins as you go up to get your blue blazer?
I have a good friend, Jim Heaver, who went in the Hall of Fame a few years ago, and he talks to me about looking at his dad and about he was crying and how hard it's going to be. And I go with the Jack Fitzsimmons rule, I'll cry at a bad commercial. So I'm concerned I'm going to have to practice, I'm going to have to work, I've got to keep my composure because I have so many people to thank. And such the opportunities. In my office today was a Jesuit grad who was helping me look at a new business. So in my office, they ask two things. Are you in the Catholic Mafia and the subset Jesuit or Catholic Jesuit Mafia? And that's what I do business. That's who I try to do business with. So it's in my life and in everything I do daily. So I'm looking forward to that day. I've got a lot of thank yous. I promise you that.
Well, it's going to be a special day, and I can't let you go without asking you this question. Of course, you walk around this campus here at Jesuit, and you see just fantastic facilities, the capital improvements that they've made. The baseball field, really been renovated. It's fantastic. A little different back when you were playing. Yeah,
funny story I share with when I was a freshman, walking down underneath the bleachers on the visitor side. We were getting ready for our first game, and I have a picture, and I'm trying to find it somewhere, but we lovingly had a school bus called the Blue Goose. And when they ordered the dirt for the infield, because they only ordered it about a week before the game started, it had rocks in it. So we have a picture of the bus running around trying to knock down the rocks so it didn't kill us in our first game for the season. So we've come a long way with the right field, and it's a beautiful place, but I couldn't be happier. When I see baseball, I love to come watch it at this facility.
Yeah, if you have not ever had a chance to come out and watch the Jesuit baseball team play, you've missed out. Come on out. Chris Martinez, of course, a long-time public address announcer, paid me a couple bucks to work him into this video. So come out and listen to him and watch the boys, and it's a lot of fun. Ted, we're so proud of you. You're a good friend. You're very well deserving of being in this Jesuit Sports Hall of Fame, and it's going to be a special night on April 25th.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much.
That's Ted Tobolka. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have our next special Jesuit Sports Hall of Famer when we return.